Hello, and welcome to another Season of War Battle Report. Here today bringing you another Age of Sigmar match, playing a 2,000 point Lumineth Realm Lords versus
Nighthaunt.
Yeah. We're playing one of the new GHB 2020 missions, the Blades Edge. Blades Edge. Yeah. We've actually played this mission in matchup once before, but unfortunately the footage was corrupted. And then in deciding what armies and mission we were to play today, Alex wanted revenge for that mission. So we're playing this one, and obviously wanted to get out this mission as a battle report. I personally love both the new missions in the new GHB. So I definitely think this is a very interesting one and puts a really cool twist on the priority roll and choosing priority, which you'll see throughout the game. So I think we can just, we're going to stay on these sides. We're not doing any terrain rules, but we're playing in the realm of Hish.
Yep.
So the spell is basically, goes off on a 5. It's another Mystic Shield. The realm feature is mystical, so there's a 6-up Feel No Pain for models within an inch of terrain. And the command ability.
Ignore cover.
Yes, right. So you choose one of your own units, and when it attacks, it ignores cover until your next hero phase. Not the most impactful realm, but we're on home field advantage. But no other terrain rules, so we'll just get into roll for deployment. 6 for me.
4.
Okay, so I will get to deploy first, and then we'll talk about our armies. All right. Okay, so we're all deployed for this match now. I finished first, having a battalion. I was a 3-drop. So I'll go through my list. It's pretty traditional for what I've been testing so far. Obviously, somewhat restricted to just what the models I have for my old High Elf army. I'm working on painting up Eltharion right now. Want to include him and do some testing with him, as well as some other compositions in the near future. But I'm playing the Great Nation Sire today, so each of my units are going to have 2 Aether Courts instead of just 1. I have the Orlan Legion Battalion with my Cathalar, 3 units of Wardens, and then 3 units of Sentinels, all just 10s. And then I have Teclis and 1 unit of 5 Dawn Riders. For spells, all my Wardens chose Lambent Light. All my Sentinels, I think I gave them Ethereal Blessing. And then my Cathalar, my Cathalar and the Dawn Riders know Speed of Hish. So that's a double move. Obviously, Teclis knows all of both of my spell lore. And then additionally, I have Chronomatic Cogs and Umbral Spell Portal. So I'll be able to get those off, and that brings me in. I think I'm 20 points under. Yeah, I come in at 1980.
All right.
What are you running?
I've got 3 units of Chain Rasps as battle line. I've got 2 units of Hex Race, which are also battle line, and then I have 3 units of Spirit Hosts, which are battle line. The Spirit Hosts and the Lord Executioner are part of the Execution Host Battalion, so he gets +1 to hit and -1 to be hit when he's near the Spirit Hosts. And then also got a Morngul, 2 Spirit Torments. That's all in the Underworlds currently. Then I have the Dreadblade Harrow, who is my general, Reichnor, and I'm running 4 Banshees because I had the points.
Yeah. Any unbinds never hurt.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a pretty strong casting army. So I'll have choice of who goes first. Now, if this were, I think, any other mission, I would give you first turn. You've obviously deployed in such a way to really mitigate my output, which obviously is smart. But if I give you the turn here, you can just pop up your 5 or 6 units from the graveyard across the board, cap all 6 objectives pretty easily. And this is definitely a mission where you have to score early. So I'm going to take the turn. I won't probably get much, if any, damage out. But I got to start storing objectives. So yeah, I'm going to take the turn. So we'll be going into Lumineth turn 1 to start off the game. All right, good luck. Okay, so we finished, or I finished my turn. As expected, it was not very exciting, not too much going on. I ran my horses up. Most of my units got the exploding 5s off. My 2 archers back here didn't even try to cast it. They weren't in range of shooting, so they cast other stuff. One put ethereal on these spearmen. The other ones tried to cast cogs but failed. These archers in the shooting phase killed 4 chain rasps with their 30-inch range. But really, that's all the output, all the damage I did this turn. Obviously, just trying to position. I ended up getting up on all 5 objectives.
6. Oh.
5. Yeah, so I got 5 of them, so I'll be up 5-0 right now going into your turn. And we'll see if there's a little more action on yours.
All right.
But yeah, we'll be going into bottom of round 1. Nighthaunt turn 1. Okay, so your turn was a little more action-packed than mine.
Yep. So moved up onto all of the objectives that I could. So I got chain rasp on my 3.
Yep.
I have the hex wraiths on that one. They needed the +3 from his artifact, the +2 from Cogs, a command pointed a run of 6 just to get them there.
And had to spend the 2 CP because of lunar eclipse.
Then I dropped down the 3 units of Spirit Hosts, the Lord Executioner, 2 Spirit Torments, and the Morngul all over on this side. Some of them made charges, some of them did not. The Morngul got to do the Nighthaunt charge for getting a 10+.
In those Spirit Hosts too.
Yes. So I killed 9 Wardens.
Yeah.
In the Battle Shock phase, Jordan flipped the Battle Shock on me, and all of the Hex Wraiths ran away.
So you had lost 2, yeah, and then you're at 11 +1 from my spell, so you're at -12 to bravery. So yeah, so the last 3 ran away, and I had 1 Dawn Rider run also. Actually, I would have owed you a Battle Shock here. And I'm just going to would command point that from my Cathlar, who's my general. Because I lost 3 Sentinels.
Yeah, so if I had made a couple more charges, I could have gotten more guys in, finished off the Wardens, and not lost all my guys running away. But not being able to spend command points because I only have 1 and I need 2. Yeah. So we'll score 3 for my turn.
No, you'll get 5.
Wait, 4.
Wait. 4. Yeah, you won't hit this one.
Yeah.
We have 4, so it's going to be 5-4 in my favor. Going into round 2 roll off. All right.
2.
4. Oh, this is such a hard mission to take the turn on. Because if I take priority here, you're going to burn this one, theoretically, and I am then fighting for any points. And I've played this mission a couple times now, and every time I've been in the army, I always kept giving away the turn and just burning all my opponent's objectives and staying in the game that way. But I'm going to try now to be a little more aggressive here and try and kill some stuff. And see if I can kill enough to justify losing my objective. Because obviously I have to do a lot of work now to really make it pay off. But I'm going to take the turn. So we'll go into Lumineth, turn 2, top of round 2.
Yeah,
you'd have to burn one.
I will choose to burn this one.
Yeah. Do you want to pull it out? So, going to have to do a lot of work. Obviously, like, giving away the turn is ideal for me. Because Lumineth, I just want to cast it right. So if I can burn all but like my my 2 objectives, it works in my favor. But with how mobile you are, it's going to be hard for me to hold any if I let you take the turn. You'll pin me in here, and just start pinning me back. So we'll see what we can do, and yeah, we'll go into the top of round 2. Okay, so just finished top of round 2, Lumineth turn. In my hero phase, obviously, a bunch of my units were casting Power of Hysh for the empowered weapons. Techless, got Lambent Light off on the Mortal. I got Searing White Light and did some chip damage to a bunch of stuff. Speed of Hysh on these 10 Wardens up there. Ethereal on these ones. And yeah, then I basically spread out. I also cast the Total Eclipse, so for the 2 command points. I think that was most of it. And yeah, so then moved up obviously and spread out. I had rerolling and shooting against the Morndol, but I had to spend all 3 units shooting to take him off. The Wardens obviously got to boogie, having double movement, and then charge onto that objective, killing a lot of the chain rasps. Actually, you'd have the battle shot there, wouldn't you? At -8.
Yep.
5, yeah, so those last 2 run. These guys don't have the battle shock. You killed 2 in return, and my Cathlar made them immune to battle shock and put the +2 on your chain rasps, who had lost 7. So you had 3 left, and you were at 1 bravery, but you rolled a 3, so you only lost 2 more. 1 set around, and you kept that objective. And then the Dawn Riders just moved in and just kind of just barely killed the remaining chain rasps there. But obviously it was big. It gave me 4 objectives out of the 5. Almost got that last one, but not quite. So I'm at 9 points to 4 right now, going into Nighthaunt turn 2, and it's looking a little grim. But we'll see what you can do to claw it back and go from there.
All right. So Reignor tried to cast spell. It was auto unbound, but he still got to snuff a corpse candle when he did it, so he signed a mortal wound. He retreated the Hex Race, and when they moved over, they got to drop their mortal wounds. They killed 1 warden.
You wanted to kill 2. Would have been the goal.
Yeah.
So that would have got you that objective. But yeah, you finished off the unit of archers over here, or the remaining sentinels over here. I think there were like 6 or 7. Yeah. And the 2, the last warden that was here, and the 2 Dawn Riders also.
Yeah.
Um,
Made 6 or 7 charges, and none of them were the Nighthaunt one.
Yeah. Not that you needed it. So I don't think I did any damage to anything. I dealt 2 to Reignor, but he healed it back at the end of the phase.
Yeah, the Spirit Torment.
Yeah.
Healed that.
So you'll store these 2, and you still hold that one with that lone chain rasp. So you'll store 3 points.
Is this Are they within?
Yeah. When I charged, I made sure
Okay.
they were within.
So we tie there.
Yeah. So very nearly you taking that one, which obviously would have been nice.
Yeah.
You're 2 points behind as it is. But obviously having storing that one would have been big. Obviously it's like every round there's less objectives, so the game gets tighter and tighter. Now we were thinking before your last turn that after my turn it was looking pretty bad. Not that it's
It's the priority here. If I win
Yeah.
it, I have a chance. If not, there just won't be enough left.
Yeah. Well, yes and no, because I now don't really have any threats to these two objectives, right? There's nothing that I can do to take them.
Yeah.
And think that it's like this mission really punishes you for taking the turn. So if you take it, I burn one of these. If you take, or if you force me or whatever, if I end up taking it, definitely I can chip some stuff, but it would mean you're potentially sitting on these two objectives for an extra round or two, and they don't get burned. Whereas like burning something like this means I score probably 2, but yeah, I can punish these guys. So it's tough, because I played a game Sylvaneth against Lumineth, and I was getting smoked and just chewed up, but I just won because I kept burning the opponent. I was the one burning the objectives, and I just was sitting on my 1 or 2 at the end. So it's a very different mission, which I honestly wish there were more like this that actually challenged you to make decisions about the priority role. I honestly love this mission. I think it's a great one because of that mechanic. But obviously, yeah, I do have the potential, obviously, to start killing some stuff. But you are pretty elite, so besides maybe being able to focus down one of your heroes, I'm not going to punish a lot of your units remaining. But we'll go into the roll.
3.
5. So again, I think this is a tough decision. I'm ahead 2. I think I'm going to give you the turn. These guys are ethereal. I have my buffs up. Now It's tempting because if I take it, I can definitely take that one. Score 3. You're not really threatening much right now. At least you're not threatening. I guess you are threatening that one somewhat. You could send all those guys in, potentially kill one and take that objective. But it means I lose an objective. I'm up 2. So maybe I can just ride that to the end. I guess I'm not scoring 3 if I take it because you'll burn 1. All right, I'm giving you the turn. Final decision. I'm going to burn this one. That one's on that single guy. My thought is at least this way, so you'll be able to push and take that one potentially. Or you have that one anyway, so you'll score 2 points. Man, that's such a tough decision. But it keeps this one out of scoring for you for the next 3 rounds, not just this turn, which is big. So I'm going to try and kind of coast on objectives. I have most of my buffs up again. Techless is kind of out in the open, but yeah. We'll see. We'll see if that was the right decision. But we'll go into top of round 3 with Nighthaunt going first.
All right. So the hero phase was short. Reichner tried to cast and was automatically unbound. So at the start of movement, my Dreadblade blinked over there. Spent 2 command points to bring the Chain Rasp or the Spirit Host with him. That was the biggest thing, really. These Spirit Hosts just ran up. These ones moved up just outside of 3. The heroes all moved up. These heroes spread apart just so that
Try to make it hard to tap that.
Yeah, they can't take that with just moving.
Well, I have to keep Techless there because I haven't captured that one yet.
Yeah, but I mean something else can move there to if he moves away.
That's true.
So I've got 3. Yeah, these Spirit Hosts made their charge.
Yep.
The 9-inch +2 from Cogs. So
killed 3 guys. I killed 1 in return.
Yeah. I really didn't do a whole lot here. Jordan made a 6 save on a 4 damage attack from the Lord Executioner. Yeah. And these guys only killed 1. Yeah. The Spirit Hosts really don't work against you very well because Shining Company, literally all I can do is get 6s.
Yeah. You have a lot of dice, but both of those units in 18 dice, you should have averaged at least 3.
Yeah.
You only got 1 in either of them. So that hurt you. Yeah, I don't know if... I still think I made the right decision because while you're able to pull away from that, I still wouldn't have been able to threaten it, right? So I still think burning this would be impactful, or else you potentially store it this turn, next turn, and you could get 3 points for that objective. So I think burning it was still the right choice. And now I'm in a position where I can try to do a good chunk of wounds.
Yeah, you're gonna Searing White Light my entire army now.
And not taking the turn there set me up to potentially get a double if I'm in a position where I could cripple a couple things. But your Spirit Hosts are super hard to deal with because of their 3 wounds each, and you regenerated 2 of them, 2 bodies at the start of this round. So tough to take them out fully, but potentially having 2 turns in a row would give me a good shot at it. But so you'll score 3 points because you still have Okay, so bottom of round 3, end of Lumineth turn 3. It's lots of dead stuff on both sides, but
More so.
I managed to kill a bunch of spirit hosts. One from this unit, one from this unit, and then taking out those 3. Killed 2 hex raids. Actually, I had killed 2 spirit hosts. The final one fled because of the bravery debuff from the Cathlar, making them immune and them at -4, bringing them to -7, and you rolled a 4, so you lost 1. So, bravery tricks obviously still having an impact, which I think is a neat little trick. You're not a fan of, but hey, you never have to take bravery checks because you're bravery 10. So.
No, but it's like every army but Death has a way to be immune to it, and like Death has 10, but now there's ways to just bypass that too. Like
to an extent, this is really the only thing. The Cathlar obviously is I think their abilities are pretty unique and interesting. I didn't lose anything to Battle Shock, making them immune, and these 3 units all rolled fine. We finally killed that final Chain Rasp, so Teclis took that objective, and I remain in control and take this one back. So I'll store 3, which ties me for the round, and means I'm still ahead 2 going into the final 2 rounds. But yeah, not a lot on either side of the board left. So I think it's just priority roll here, and then we will decide.
2.
3. So I have decision again. I think if I take it here, I'm in a position where I can cripple you enough now. I couldn't have done it the last round. But I can cripple you, and I'll still store at least 2. And I think you would be hard-pressed to store 2 back. But yeah, we'll go into round 4. Lumineth Realm Lords going first. Okay, so midway through my turn, pretty much we were going through the hero phase and casting, and I had a very effective turn or round with the Searing White Light from Teclis, killing off a lot of what you had left, and then we just rolled shooting to see what else I would have killed, and you're obviously left with 3 heroes and not much else, so you wouldn't be able to really threaten very much. Depending on positioning, may still be able to score 1 or 2 points, but being behind 2 and I'm scoring 2 here, it wouldn't have brought it to a tie. So they're out of reach at that rate. But obviously, yeah, Teclis, that was the most effective turn he's had, and at this moment, it just kind of like I said, kind of nail in the coffin. Expecting your answer. How did you feel?
I mean, we're playing this all pre-FAQ for the book.
Yes.
I'm expecting, hopefully, it gets toned down because this seems crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely
the spell portal working with the Searing White Light is so incredibly broken. Yeah. The just output of everything doing 5s for mortal wounds is like, it bypasses so many mechanics in the game. You ignore minus to hit, you ignore like a Sur, like you ignore
for sure
line of sight, like.
But that's granted. We're comparing right now to Spirit Hosts that do mortals on 6s a lot of the time, and they are doing it on 5s is significantly better, hands down. So in that comparison, obviously old book, we know that they are obviously inferior. My stuff outside of the mortal wounds doesn't do a lot of damage, if any. 90% of their output is their mortal wounds, but it's a good amount of damage, not to take anything away. I think particularly against Nighthaunt, it really hurts you.
I think just the 6 to hit mechanic has been thrown out too much. Not every unit in every book needs to be doing mortals on 5s or 6s.
For sure, but in my 4 armies, this is the only unit that does it.
Well, yeah, but Ideneth's an old book. Sylvaneth's the newer one, but like they just didn't get it for whatever reason.
And even cities, like...
I feel like the 6s to wound mechanic is much more fair. You're not ignoring the minus to hit penalties that should be...
Sir.
Yeah, from Lookout Sir. My battalion gives me -1 to hit. The Morngul gives -1 to hit. Like, all of that is just completely ignored. But still, I'm paying points for it.
Yeah, and there's always going to be like bad matchups, and I think this is one of the big things that you pay for.
This scenario is particularly bad because you can, with all the objectives being
so
very close,
yeah,
you can just castle up completely.
As we saw, I wait till turn 2, turn 3, and then I can spread out, or I can shoot one unit out at a time. So I think this is definitely... Being close, it is advantageous for Lumineth. Also, the fact that I can burn my opponent's objectives and kind of stay in my castle if I don't take priority. And then a big thing, we play, obviously you play Nighthaunt a lot, so I'm very used to your ethereal, and I have a lot of stuff that has rend and 2 rend, which is, really hurts those armies, but it doesn't hurt these guys because obviously they're bypassing your armor save. And your ethereal, so it really punishes you and punishes your army for their allegiance ability, where it's ineffective. Which again, like you said, you're paying points for that theoretically in all your units, so it really hurts you in the long run. So I definitely think this is a tough matchup for them. We've played it a couple times, I guess 3 now. You won the first one, but
that was it was purely on the mission because it was long ways, and I could just pin you back and score objectives.
Yeah. And I think I got better at positioning with Lumineth and screening, so you're not able to get into the archers the turn you come in necessarily, so it meant able to take out more stuff. Whereas I think last time, and you had the double, so this time round 2, you didn't get the double turn. And then I gave you the double, I think, into 3. Yeah, because then I doubled 3 into 4. So yeah, it's like, with Techless, this army feels like I'm, very much holding on to the end, trying to scrape as little. So it's like, there's the potential in other matchups. Again, I think this is a very detrimental matchup for you.
I feel like if I had a way to outdrop you, this could have been a completely different game. Because you don't score 5 on turn 1, I score 5, and then you're fighting uphill the whole game.
You score 6.
Potentially. Yeah. But, like, there's no way to do that with Nighthaunt, like, unless I'm running, like, one of the super battalions, which I would like to do that list at some point.
I mean, it's worth thinking about. I have no idea what's in the battalion, but...
Well, my 40 Hex Wraith list.
Is it 1-drop?
Is a 2-drop.
2-drop. Yeah, that's huge. Because that lets you... That's so powerful in terms of board control.
Yeah.
I think that outdrops this list. It's not even like a roll-off. So yeah, I think that would... In a lot of games, a lot of matchups, I think having choice can be so impactful. Some armies don't care, but definitely I find there are, at least every army has 1 or 2 matchups where they really want to take priority or have the decision. And me with Lumineth, I think I really need it a lot of the time. I could drop the battalion and even instantly add in 10 more wardens. But I think I just really need it to be able to take first on a mission like this. Because you're right, if I gave it to you, you score 6 points, and I score maybe 3. at best if I can push onto those and clear what you charged me with in Deep Struck. But it's a tough one. Yeah. Definitely, I think this was a tough matchup for you. I think you played your turn one at turn one. I think you played the game as well as you could have. I don't think there were really any mistakes that I noticed. But I think that's it. Unless there's anything else you want to add about this one. Again, I think it's good to finally have a bat rep up on the channel that shows some of the power of Lumineth. Because at this point, just from the matches we've played and the ones we filmed, of like my 6 matches with Lumineth, this is the first win that's going to be doing on the channel. And it does really show some of the strengths of the army, as we saw, especially round 4, with the double turn of painting everything, before it has a chance to heal and bring stuff back.
Another thing in this list, I'm running MSU, lots of small units. And
where everyone gets hit, so you get punished for the MSU.
Yeah.
Which I think meta-wise, it's nice to have, again, there are mechanics that maybe we want to see tweaked or whatnot with the FAQ, but I think it is nice to see an army that punishes that kind of play, where MSU is generally just, I feel like the way to play so many armies right now, and there's little downside, whereas I see this being a consideration to run larger units in some armies. But anyways, just want to say a big thank you to everyone that's watched the battle reports and kind of followed along. I know there's a lot of people who wanted to see another Lumineth match, so finally we get to show a Lumineth win. But yeah, that'll be it for now. We'll obviously see you guys again soon. So thank you to everyone that's kind of followed along and subscribed, as well as liked and shared and commented.